Welcome back everyone to video 2 of the first module. This is going to be getting more into the minutia and the details of exactly how your mind works when you're in discomfort. So as I said in the last video, you have to figure out where you're coming from and who you are before you really add on to that and start to learn new techniques. You're going to find a lot more confidence, a lot more success if you can already observe your habits and see how you are doing a good job already. I also said in the video that, you have gone through psychological, emotional, and physical discomfort before. And through all of those in your life, you have learned how to deal and how to cope. So you have habits already. Now, if we can really pay attention to those habits and maximize them, then you will be well on your way with some traction and some experience under your belt before you even start to add on to it. So at least 4 times this week, I want you to observe your mind when you are in discomfort. This can be mild discomfort, like being stuck in traffic or attending a meeting that's lasting an hour and you just want to go. If you're pregnant and you're feeling some insomnia or physical pain from pregnancy or nausea, those are also opportunities to observe how is your mind working and what does it do when you are uncomfortable. Now, as you start to watch your mind, you're going to notice it does a couple things. The first thing you're going to observe is that it really just wants to get you out of this situation. It wants to escape. It wants to be angry, sometimes blaming people around you, blaming yourself, just stewing in it, ranting, watching the clock, going from being in discomfort to now being into suffering. And we can't judge ourselves too harshly for this because it's a very human attitude. It's a very human thing to do. This is actually what keeps us alive. It's a great thing to do. Like, for instance, if you're out in the cold and you're uncomfortable, your body wants to escape the cold so that you don't die of exposure. See, good thing. But sometimes the pain is inescapable. Sometimes the pain is emotional. Sometimes the pain is serving us in some way. And in that time, we need to tell our body that we can handle this and we're going to handle it. So when you observe closely, you'll also see that your mind does something else besides trying to escape. It will try to figure out how to cope. And coping can look a lot of different ways, and that's why you're going to observe. Coping can look like self-talk or self-reassurance, like this traffic jam's probably not going to last more than 30 minutes. I can handle 30 minutes. Sometimes distraction, like a nice podcast or some music playing through the traffic jam. Sometimes it just relaxes your body, breathes differently, tries to find something that feels good that's happening at the same time as the discomfort. These are all ways of coping and really getting through difficult things in a more positive way, in a way that doesn't stress your body. Now, if you don't have any discomfort through the week, first of all, I want to be you. But if that's your case, then we need to simulate some discomfort. So I have some directions for you here. What you need to gather is a washcloth or towel, and then a bowl, and inside the bowl, some ice. So I've got a giant cube here. It's for whiskey, but today it's for coping. Just if you have regular ice cubes, that's fine too. Just put a few of them in a bowl. And the way this will work, you can get a timer out, and then every minute or so, you're going to pick up the ice and hold it really firmly in your hand for 60 seconds. And then when the 60 seconds passes, you put the ice down, dry your hand off, and you rest for about 30 seconds. After that 30 seconds passes, pick up the ice with the other hand, hold for 60, put it down, go for another 30-second rest. And you're going to do this off and on, switching hands every time. About 10 minutes or so is probably ample to realize what's going on in your head. And that will be a great exposition into how you suffer and want to escape, and also what coping shows up. And you might have to do a few ice contractions before you start to notice the coping and you start to use some coping. This is great if you don't have any discomfort, but you can change it up. One day you have a commute, cope through that, or observe during that. The next day you don't have too much going on, do 10 minutes of ice. Just make sure you do 4 to 7 sessions before you move on to Module 2. Now, down below this video, there's a link to an MP3 you can download that has a 10-minute session that's guided, or at least timed, for you to do your ice practice. The way I have it set up there is every time you hear a chime ring, that means pick up the ice. 60 seconds will pass and you'll hear it ring 2 times. That means put it down. And then have a 30-second rest. And then again, when the next contraction starts, then you'll hear a bell. Pick it up, 60 seconds later, and on and on and on. So if you want to do this practice without having to watch your clock, that's a great way to do it. If you really want to go gangbusters, you can just put that sucker on repeat, do it for 20 minutes. That's cool too. So do 4 to 7 sessions of observation, and in your course book, you will have a practice log under Module 1 where you can write down, what you're observing, what you noticed this time, because what you'll find is the more and more you do this, the more quickly you'll observe things, and also the better your coping is going to get. You're going to become a master of yourself, a master of your mind. So do that like a good little student. And then in the next module, we're going to start getting into more specific directions and things that other people have used over time to cope with labor. And I love doing this first module before that because as we get into the specific techniques, you'll see that, oh, I kind of already do that. Or, oh, this is new to me. I've never tried it before. So you will have a good foundation of your own style, a good foundation of your own self before we start to build on that. But for now, I want you to go and study your own mind.